Let's see if it actually works. I know, it's coming. The apocalypse is coming. Is it working? I'm confused. It says it's streaming, but where? I'm so confused. Okay, there we go. So it says it's streaming. I'm confused. Okay, there we go. Alright, why does it look like shit? Quality. I haven't really streamed to YouTube in a long time, so we'll see how shitty it looks. I may have to lower the quality. I couldn't even play other people's streams lately. Okay, what if I just do that? Come on. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Let's see if it works. Lately I've been running, playing hard. Why is it? Okay. Let's see. If I raise it to 720. Okay. If I raise it to 1080. Let's see if it works. Okay, there we go. That was really frustrating. I couldn't get it to freaking load at all. Okay. Everyone just started a casual live stream on YouTube at to read responses to the Nudist subreddit post. How do you feel about nudist advocates? Alright, and then I'll post it to Eldritch also. Screen's not shown, right? Okay. I have to be so careful, and yes, the lighting is going to keep changing because I have the window open. So that we can see when the eclipse happens and the world ends. Oh no! Yeah, I know. Well, I thought I'm not planning to do anything about video games, so I figured posting to Twitch would be kind of silly. I'm a little nervous because at the top of the nudist subreddit it has a picture with like naked people. I mean, it's like tiny and far away, but we know how how mainstream media is about nudity, and somehow including female nipples. I was gonna stream on TikTok also just for fun, just to increase my chances of getting not studio mode, virtual camera, just to increase my chances of getting banned. Go live. Go live. So we'll see if my internet shits the bed. I've been having so many freaking issues with my internet lately. And I don't know how much is the internet, how much is the computer. I don't know. Why is it saying log in? I don't know, whatever. Alright. So the end of the world. It's forcing me to keep that open. That's annoying. Can I... Nope, I can't move it to that side. Okay. I'm trying to rearrange the freaking OBS window, but it's being annoying. Anyway. the eclipse is supposed to happen like 10-15 minutes from now. We'll see. Oh, I don't really care, because for one thing, up here in the Pacific Northwest, it's only supposed to be a partial eclipse. I do remember, was it 2018? Where there was the big one. We actually went down to Salem to watch it, and we spent the night before at this person's house, because at the time my husband was working at OMSI, and this rich family was like, as thanks to OMSI for, you know, being a place that we went to so many times, we're offering our ranch home or whatever to let people spend the night. And my husband and I went there, and we tried to sleep in the car, and my husband snores really fucking loud, especially when he's been drinking, so I was so fucking tired that I ended up basically falling asleep during the eclipse. Do I see any? I don't know, it says partial. I don't know what that means, so we'll see. But it's just so funny to me that there's all these like Republicans freaking out about it, and it's a sign of the degradation of the US or whatever. And it's like, first of all, the eclipse happens to the whole world. Like, it doesn't, what thing is, you know, ethnocentric. And second of all, the scientists have known it's coming for decades. So it's like Biden chose to put Trans Day of Awareness on the same day as Easter Sunday. It's like, no, Easter's the one that moves every year. Evangelicals, man. All right, anyway, so yeah, so like I said, I'm going to carefully show my screen. I'm nervous because at the top of this this window, the subreddit window, by the way, how's the sound? So I rearranged the room. I'm not done, but I put my computer, I moved in my old desk, my big heavy desk, and I put it in the middle, and put my computer here, and then put Matthew's computer there, and I still haven't been able to do anything back there. I still want to like actually put some shelves up and put all my gaming stuff up and everything like that. For now, I just have the, you know, thing in the background, and I still have to find somewhere to put the files from doing taxes, and I'm still like, I will breathe easier when they actually accept them, because I'm always terrified I did the taxes wrong. Anyway, yeah, I worked on that on Sunday, and like over here is just this pile of stuff because I haven't been able to put it all away yet. Sound is okay. But yeah, the thing that sucks about this desk is that so I use clamps for my camera and my microphone and everything like that, and I forgot on this desk I can only do it on the sides. The back doesn't have enough of a lip, so I can't have it like this, and my arms, you know, my boom arms or whatever are only like that long, so anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm not done setting stuff up. Right, so anyway, Emrich, who is here in the chat for now, so thanks for not making me be all by myself, is posted a link to this reddit.com nudist post, nudism post, and I'll go ahead and carefully show my screen and try to remember not to roll my screen up, because we don't want to have a couple of seconds of freaking, wait, what? Why is it showing the wrong window? Hold on. Properties. No. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. That's weird. Why is it not updating it? I don't know. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, hold on. I gotta sign in again. Yeah, I haven't streamed to, whoa, that is not the correct password. I haven't streamed to YouTube in such a long time. Oop. Good thing that didn't show. That, I had to like reconnect everything, so. Oh my gosh. This is like the 4th time I've logged in. Hopefully it works. This is obviously not a planned live stream. Normally I stream on Tuesdays, but I have to take my dad to a very important doctor, cataract surgery thing that we scheduled freaking 4 months ago. And at long last, it's tomorrow. And I'm a little nervous. There we go. Okay. So now maybe the thing will update. I don't know. Refresh. Not top chat. Live chat. Type something to test it out. Test. No? That didn't show. What? Okay. Sorry. There we go. Okay, pop out. Pop out chat. Okay. Weird. Hopefully I don't show anything. Everything is so messy. There we go. And then, boop. All right, good enough, good enough, good enough, good enough. So anyway, let's check out this this subreddit. I don't really go to the nudist subreddit because, as you guys know, I am really tired of dealing with nudists because they're basically freaking tag on this thing keeps scratching me. I cannot stand having clothing tags touch me. I cut them off all my clothes and then I have holes. But anyway, I don't really like to go to the nudist subreddit very much because it's all cis men. Like, why is society so against us? We're so oppressed. Not all of them, but there's a lot of misogyny. Always read out strays. There's a lot of misogyny on, among nudists and transphobia, racism, all that stuff. And plus the whole making your whole identity about being naked in public is pretty silly. But Cleo, you want equal rights to go topless for all genders, not just men. Yeah, that's different. I think nudity and sex are different, and I think it's silly that, people can't be naked without people being like, oh my god, think of the children. But that's a separate issue from wanting the exact same rights for women that men get as far as going without a shirt online and in public. And that's part of why I don't like talking to nudists very much, because they are almost all cis men, at least the noisy ones online, and they cannot conceive of the difference between women wanting the same rights as them and freeing their entire penis. Like, they just bloop, straight to, yeah, nudity is not sexual. And it's like, it's not about that, dude. It's about not giving different rights based on what gender you look like. What part are you not understanding about that? Fucking cis men. Ugh. Anyway. Hashtag not all men. Alright, so here's the post. I haven't looked at it at all. And there's quite a few responses, so we'll skim. Should I zoom in a little bit so it's more readable? Let's do that. Let me switch back for a minute and then zoom in. Boop, boop. Like I said, I'm trying to be really careful because the banner at the top has a bit of, oh my gosh, nipples! Ah! Anyway, as long as that's a dude, then it's fine. I don't know, is that a dude emoji, whatever you want to call it there? The asking the real questions. Okay. How do you feel about nudist advocates who also advertise in Onlyfans? Inspired by Twitter conversations, blah, Twitter. The vocal nudist woman. I don't really know of any. Because it's like on Blue Sky, there's the one woman who posts sexual pictures and says her son took the pictures, which is okay. And then there's like this older woman who posts them, but like they're all zoomed in on her boobs. And then there's Victoria Bateman, who's not even a nudist. She uses her nudity to make points about economic disparity and stuff like that. And, you know, she's famous, so like I wouldn't even be able to get in contact with her. But I mean, if you have outspoken nudist women, there's Bunny Luna, who is specifically not a nudist, that I have interviewed, and they talk about you know, I mean, they're non-binary, but they're AFAB, so they've obviously dealt with topless inequality to a degree that cis men have not. Anyway, yeah, you know, doors always open if people want to do an interview. There's actually this one woman who I'm sort of going to interview in the future, and it's kind of weird because she emails me a lot wanting to do an interview, and she keeps sending me pictures of like her and her friends naked, and it's like, okay, like you don't have to keep sending me pictures. Like they're not like pin-up photos, they're just like naked photos, but it's just like, if I want to see naked pictures of someone, I will ask, okay? Are still in the yeah, fucking Twitter. Well, you know, a lot of the nudists have joined Blue Sky, but Blue Sky's like dead. I don't know, it's very disappointing. It's very awkward, but I guess your options are free-for-all platforms full of Nazis. The only options you have to post female nipples are free-for-all platforms full of Nazis, like Twitter, platforms specifically meant for sexual content, like Onlyfans, or alternative platforms that nobody uses, like Blue Sky and Mastodon, which are both like Activity Pub. I don't know the specifics or whatever, except Blue Sky is, you know, founded by one of the guys that started Twitter, so it's already got a corporate bent. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I keep hoping that some rich nudist will come around and establish a platform people actually use. I mean, I would rather... It sucks that the only places that you can post female nipples are places that allow full nudity, but as long as we could have a platform that allows full nudity that people actually use, that doesn't post porn, good luck. Yeah, I don't really stream directly to YouTube very often because it's kind of cumbersome and there's not really a lot of people that come generally. I normally stream, Tuesdays I stream to joystick.tv/u/topless-topics, which is, unfortunately, a sex site, but at least on Joystick you can go straight to my page and not have to have like sexually explicit stuff on the sides like you did with Plexstorm, so that's nice. And on those streams I like edit video or maybe draw nude art and stuff like that. Sometimes I play adult games that have surprisingly good story. They exist apparently. And then on Fridays I stream on Twitch. Sorry. Still getting over this stupid cough. Which of course allows bloody violence and heads getting crushed and, you know, exploded by sniper bullets and everything, but just no female nipples, no, or illustrated nudity. But I can't stream to Joystick tomorrow because I'm taking my dad to a doctor's appointment that we scheduled 4 fucking months ago because fucking Kaiser Permanente. So I just decided to do a casual stream today. I have my window open because supposedly we're going to have the eclipse soon, but we're only going to have a partial eclipse, so I probably won't get much difference. And plus the sun is like over there, but I didn't want to just like sit outside. Really, it's cold. It's still raining. We had like 2 nice days and then it went back to raining. So I figured we would check this out. All right. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Bleh. Inspired by a Twitter conversation, I've noticed a growing trend among nudist influencers. Blah. Of course, the question is always, what is an influencer versus a content creator? I admit I definitely do use influencer as an insult. If I think someone doesn't put any real effort into their content, then I'm going to call them an influencer. And it does sound like a cult leader to me. Hoping I feel better. I feel pretty good. I'm just a little tired because today was the first day the kids went back to school, so I had to go, you know, get up early, and then we had the roof. We're going to get our roof redone, and so the guy came out to like take a look and tell us what needed to be moved or whatever. So I'm still kind of waking up, but since I can't stream tomorrow, I thought I'd stream today. But I don't know, I didn't feel like streaming on Joystick, so I'm still online. I've been here this whole fucking time. It's so frustrating because I'm so shadow banned and people like don't go to other platforms. I have not figured out how to convince people to go from one platform to another. So when I quit Twitter 2 years ago, I lost contact with like 90% of the people who watched my videos who weren't just watching it to wank. I mean, I had a lot of those too, because they refused to get off Twitter. They refused to use anything but Twitter. And so I'm like having to recultivate a whole new audience a bunch of times, except for a couple of you know, loyal supporters like Emrich and stuff like that, who have come to different platforms with me. But yeah, it just sucks because it's like people don't move platforms, and also I'm shadow banned so often when I'm not banned outright that like you have to deliberately go straight to my channel or whatever to find my stuff most of the time. Like on Tumblr, if you search Topless Topics, it won't come up. You have to go to tumblr.com or tumblr.toplesstopics.com. So I don't really post to Tumblr because they ban all my stuff anyway. You missed the Twitter wave. Do you mean you missed signing up for Twitter in the first place? Influence in this case makes sense. They're influencing people to try out nudism. True. I still feel like influencer sounds like cult leader, so... And it's like, I've said, like, in the beginning, since my videos, I've said in my videos since the beginning, words, that I don't want to tell people how to think. I just want to present ideas that people maybe haven't thought of before, and then decide for yourself if it makes sense, because a lot of fucking people that I talk to, especially millennials and younger, when I bring up the nonsense of gender-based censorship, they're like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't make sense. But it's just so ingrained in American society that female nipples equal sexually explicit nudity and male nipples don't, that even leftists, even feminists, just like don't even think about it. So, you know, just like things throughout history that, you know, casual racism and stuff like that. Not that it's on the same part, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, just one of those things that is fucking bullshit, but people just don't even think about it because it's so ubiquitous. Updates. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't ever go to Facebook. I use Sendable to auto send stuff to Facebook, but I never go there because it's fucking Facebook. So, yeah, I strongly recommend you go to toplesstopics.org/contact and look for another method of staying in contact. I do have them listed in order of the ones I use the most, so because I'm stretched so thin just trying to post all these places. I wish that I could find a social media manager to hire who knows what they're doing, is trustworthy, isn't going to freak out about working with content like mine, and doesn't cost an insane amount. But for some reason, finding people to hire, or like a video editor or whatever, I don't know where to find those people. Every other creator I ask is like, oh, my agent hooked me up, or oh, someone I already knew, or whatever. No one seems to have a resource for finding people. And I've tried a couple of other people, and I mean, I'm paying for it with my dad's social security. I don't make any money off my fucking my content. But you follow me on everything? Oh, that's good. What other names do you go by? Or do you just not interact with my posts very much? Because I don't recognize ETG Synth as a name that I see a lot. It's because I enjoy both your posts, other people on Twitter. Negative connotations about things sometimes. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, so. Time is it? See, the eclipse was supposed to happen, like, now. Maybe it happened and I didn't even notice it because the clouds just got a little bit dark. Oh, you're Landric. Okay. I don't know, man. Someone with experience. See, my goal, my dream is I come up with a video idea. I put the idea out to my little research team so we can cobble together clips and facts and stuff, whatever, to go with it. And then I write a script about it and I send the script to an editor who like make it sound good, and then I record it, and then I send the footage to the editor team, and the editor makes the video and uploads it, and then the social media manager makes all the different posts about the new video, and like, you know, 2 months out, hey, there's a new video, blah blah blah. But I don't have a team. It's all me. So it's really fucking exhausting. Free and downtime. Well, we can talk about it. You can email me. It's just the social media thing especially makes me nervous because I'd have to like give access to all my accounts, and it's hard to just like trust a random person with that. But yeah, we can look into it. Try not to bug me. Aw. It's okay. The only thing about bugging me that I get a little frustrated is some people will just DM me all the fucking time, and I have to mute them, especially on Discord. There's like 3 or 4 people I have muted on Discord because they're just like, hey, how's it going? What's going on today? Blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I don't have fucking time for this. Like, I'm nice about it, but they just don't stop DMing me. And it's like, if you want to just like casually have conversations with me, join our Discord server. Don't DM me, but talk in the server. Or you can like respond to my posts and stuff on Mastodon. That's the best way. Because then I'm like just checking a couple of places. The thing with DMs is they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and they never end. And if there's like 10 people trying to DM me every fucking day, anyway, yeah, no, I mean, and even without the social media manager part, I'm always trying to encourage people to share my stuff with other people. Like, you know, you can retweet, I guess, boost, repost, whatever you want to call it, or make your own like response video that mentions my channel or whatever, because again, I get shadow banned so much that my stuff doesn't show up in search results or whatever, so I'm entirely dependent on organic growth. And unfortunately, the majority of my followers, my supporters who aren't just following me to wank off, are cis men, middle-aged or older, my age or older cis men who are just not the demographic known for sharing content a lot, unless it's like specifically about nudism, which I get really bored talking about all the time. No, it's okay. I was just complaining. I wasn't like saying you guys have to do it. It's just I would love to build some kind of a team, and then I could actually come out with more content more regularly, because trying to do everything myself and be a mom and be caretaker to my dad and keep the house clean and have, dinner made every night and all this other shit. Anyway. Yeah, it's Landrick. He doesn't post on the Discord very often. I know. I don't really like to do DMs on TikTok either. Like, I'm just spread too thin. DM me on Discord. Plus, on TikTok, I'm like trying to answer on my phone, and I hate having DM interactions on my phone because typing with my thumb gets tiring. So, DM me on Discord or message me on Mastodon. Those are the best ones. Very interesting. I'm definitely down to help. So trying to figure out Mastodon. It's Twitter. It's Twitter, basically. It's like a hybrid of Twitter and Facebook, except that you're not beholden to arbitrary censorship from some soulless algorithm. At least if you're on one of the smaller subreddits. If you join something like Mastodon Social or whatever, like, it's still better than Twitter or Facebook or whatever, but there's a lot less... There's more of a chance of getting arbitrarily banned. And also, a lot of smaller... instances, servers, basically, on Mastodon have defederated from Mastodon Social, which means that their posts don't show up when you search from your one because it's so unregulated. And just think of it as it's a bunch of different chat rooms, but you can use the same account to like follow and interact with people in different chat rooms, as long as they're not defederated from each other. So if you're in like I said, like Mastodon.social, which is a really large one, there's going to be a lot of subreddits, or not subreddits, there's going to be a lot of Mastodon instances where you won't be able to see or interact with the people on those things. So I encourage you to find a smaller one to use, and you can always just like redirect your existing one to the smaller one. That's how I started on Eldritch Cafe like years ago, which, I mean, it's just this like random French one. I don't necessarily recommend it. It's just that we were trying to find one where I could post female nipples without it being a big thing that preferably wasn't a instance meant for sex workers. Because sex workers are great, but I am not a sex worker, and I hate the fact that I am only allowed to post in places that do allow full-on sex. Anyway. Now, other people can post full nudity on YouTube and not get taken down. Full fucking nudity, including penises and vaginas. But I can't even sit there without a shirt without getting banned. Yeah, and that's another thing, like with if I could get a social media manager, I would like to actually have the newsletter thing for people who, actually look at their emails and stuff. Yeah, Discord is the best one. Microblogging. I feel like most people don't know what microblogging is, though. Anyway, yeah, if you go to toplesstopics.org/chat, there's a link there to join the Discord. And, you know, don't just talk to me, but like talk to other people that post in the Topless Topics community. And it's not very busy. It's a nice level of busy. It's not like those ones where it's fucking streaming by so fast that you can't keep a conversation going. So Instagram is very bad. Instagram was already bad and it's just getting worse and worse. Like, anyway, I don't know. Was that it? Did we get the eclipse? It's hard to tell because it keeps, like, the light keeps fading because it's super cloudy anyway. So, I don't know. I have not gotten through the first fucking paragraph of this yet. Is there a chat? You have to agree to the rules. There's a rule thing where you have to do the emoji reaction to it before you can see the general room. Just to, like, make it a little harder for the fucking bots and trolls and stuff to access the rest of the room. Yeah. The person who set all that up is no longer a part of the Topless Topics community, so I can't really ask them for help, and I don't really know how to do all that stuff, but if it's really confusing, let me, you can DM me at Ceridwenroth, CeridwenRoth, and I'll try to help you get into the room, but, yeah. Anyway, takes at least an hour, I guess also depends on how much eclipse. Okay. So if I suddenly get really, really dark, then we'll know that it happened. Okay. I've noticed a growing trend among nudist influencers like Francelli and Hector M, who are leveraging platforms such as Patreon and OnlyFans to market nudist-centric, non-sexual content. So, funny that they mentioned Patreon, because Patreon actually just did a huge crackdown on not safe for work erotic content or whatever. Like, they were already pretty restrictive and they got even worse. And so it's forcing sex workers to only use places like OnlyFans. I remember when OnlyFans was gonna ban sexual content and they were like, oh shit, wait, that's all people come to us for. Anyway, they're forcing even like artists and everything like that to have to go to full-on sex sites, which sucks because people might be interested in some, you know, sexy furry art and not want to go all the way to fucking Pornhub to see it. And get bombarded with fucking hardcore ads. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing why I don't want to post to porn sites. One is I don't like the implication that like, oh, I was just kidding about wanting the same rights to go non-topless in public like men get. I actually was, it was all a front. I actually just want to sell access to my body. And two, because all these sites, you can't go to them without fucking super graphic ads assaulting you the whole time, and I don't really like to look at porn. I don't really want to see hardcore stuff like that just to watch a topless live stream. I mean, I'm the only one not on joystick, but it's a whole thing. We had a falling out. Anyway, and since then, I don't have anyone in the Discord that really knows how to do anything in Discord, so... And I just haven't prioritized trying to set it up, because again, I'm split between so many things. But yeah, it'd be nice to have another social media, or to have a social media manager to do the newsletter thing, because it's like, The Oatmeal is this webcomic that I like, that is pretty famous, and he actually switched to emailing out when he has a new thing, because he specifically says, because the fucking algorithm shit and everything is just not worth his time and it's too stressful, so yeah, like, it's so fucking stupid. Hi, Laws, by the way, Laws fan. Yeah, it's just, everyone keeps getting more and more and more anti-sex worker, and there's got to get a point where enough sex workers can get together to establish a platform that treats sex workers ethically, that, has reliable ways of getting paid, but then they're still dependent on the payment vendor transaction or whatever, like Gumroad, which I use to sell artistic nude photography as basically the only way I can make any kind of money, because I'm banned from monetization when I'm not banned outright, and sponsors won't return my emails. And Gumroad is like, oh, we can't sell. They still allow nudity, but it can't be sexual at all. And of course, that's a completely subjective opinion, because what makes nudity sexual? I think that something can be hella sexual without being naked and vice versa, but especially when algorithms are the ones determining everything. Anyway, so yeah, it's just funny to mention Patreon. Hector M, I actually have an interview with him. I'm not sure if it's still up. I might have to re-upload it because, of course, I keep having to switch platforms and re-upload all my stuff, which, by the way, Trom, the PeerTube instance that I've been uploading my videos to for like 3 years now, it's run by this one random guy in Spain who's pretty cool and has no problem with nudity and thinks it's stupid that Americans are so bent out of shape about it. But he has to pay for the hosting through whoever he hires or whatever. Not hires, but, you know, whoever he pays for the hosting. And he's very big on free trade. Like, you do not have to pay to post to his PeerTube instance, but it still has, you know, he has to pay for the hosting, and he wants to have about 200 people donating $6 a month by the end of the year, or he's going to have to close down Trom. I will lose access to all my videos yet fucking again, and if that happens, I am done uploading the uncensored versions of my videos. You are only going to get the super censored versions on YouTube, because fucking what's the fucking point? I am so tired of having to re-upload my videos to different platforms just to have heinous female nipples, non-sexual heinous female nipples visible. It's just topistopics.gumroad.com, and I need to put more up there. They're all old photo shoots that I was not happy with the photographers, or the photographer like disappeared. I have horror stories. I don't really want to go into it right now, but guys with camera, let's just say that. If you know, you know. But I am actually in talks with a photographer I really, really like to do something later when it's not fucking raining every day. He goes by Exhibit Photo PDX on Instagram, and he does absolutely phenomenal artistic nude work with like shadows and sets and everything. Like, I've really wanted to do something for a really long time, and yeah, just kind of gotta solidify that. It's just hard because we don't know how the weather's gonna be, you know. Like, it would have been nice if it had stopped raining by now, but we'll have like one nice day and then 2 weeks of rain and then one nice day, and it's like the forecast will change hour by hour. And yeah, I could do a photo shoot out in the rain, but that's a lot more pain in the ass, and also it's cold. But anyway, to mirror it, well, I mean, mirroring is not going to help if it goes down though, right? So I don't know how that works. If you go to videos, see, I can't even link to it in YouTube because fucking YouTube will give me a strike for linking to porn. Just go to topistopics.org and click on any of the new videos or whatever, and there'll be an embedded version of the uncensored version on Trom, and you can follow the link from that, because it's like videos.trom.tf/c/topistopics, I think. But yeah, you can just go to the website and follow the link there. But I don't know. And I'll be really sad because, like, he has other good stuff on there too, like documentaries and stuff like that. And it just sucks that your options are super commercialization, which of course means like pro-Nazis and anti-vaxxers, anti-women, anti-LGBTQ or whatever, unless it's like the cute commercializable, that's a word I just invented, versions. Remember Tyler Oakley? Like, oh my god. And then, what's the makeup guy that was like super, super popular, and then he got canceled. I can't remember why. I think it was like he hit on kids or something. I don't know. I don't remember. James Charles, right? Is that his name? I don't know. I don't follow beauty people at all, so. Oh, okay. See, like, mirroring feels like, oh, you're stealing views from someone or whatever, but then Tio would probably be fine with it because he's all about, like, improving access to everything. Anyway, so I did an interview with Hector M, and yeah, I'll have to remind me in Discord. Go in the video ideas room, Emrich, can you check for Hector M interview so I can make sure it's up? Obviously I can't show it because I'm on YouTube, and YouTube bans female nipples. Bans my female nipples, not when other people post them. where we were talking about that, and he was the one that, like, I was talking about the frustration of how I'll post, post a non-sexual topless thing or whatever, and I get all these fucking dudes who are just, well, purry shit at me because they're like, oh my god, female on internet plus nipples equal free-for-all sexual harassment, because just because I have my shirt off doesn't mean I'm open game for treating like a piece of meat. I know, crazy thought, right? You might want to respect people even if they do have their heinous female nipples visible. Say what? Let's see. Mirroring her content others' internet archive. Really? Interesting. Now, do you get comments and stuff when you mirror it, or is it literally just the video or whatever's available? Because it'd be interesting to see if there's any interesting comments on there. If I don't, then it vanishes. No, that's fair. And I assume you're not making money off of it. I'm very big on critiquing these fucking reaction channel type things where they'll just like play someone else's video and then be like, and then they'll make fucking millions of dollars off of it. That fucking pisses me off. I do not steal other people's content. I will sometimes like react to a post like this, but it's like they're not making money off of this post. Like, aren't indexed by Google. Interesting. So you're a techie type person. Well, then you would fit in on Mastodon if you're not there already, because it's like 90. I joke that Mastodon is like 1/3 programmers, 1/3 trans people, 1/3 programming, or trans people who program. So I'm neither trans nor a programmer, but it's it's good though. It's a safe space for marginalized people. That's what's so unique about Mastodon, is that they're so anti, trans bigotry, Nazi stuff like that, that it's kind of obtuse because it's an imperfect process, but it's not run by algorithms, and that's what happens. So I don't know. Anyway, I know. I feel like there's a point where there's going to be some kind of class action lawsuit or something where these reaction channels start getting like sued by the people because it's literally loss of income. Like if you're a smaller creator and you got one of these large fucking assholes like Hasanabi or Sniper Wolf or whatever making money off of your content, you should be able to sue them for lost income. So someone's got to get hit in the pocketbook enough. And then of course you have like Sniper Wolf, she'll like intentionally take the name out of the clip that she's stealing and stuff, so it's hard for that person to even know. It costs you money. No, you're doing good work. I appreciate you mirroring my stuff. It's interesting. So maybe you have some videos that I don't have anymore. Although I still have like 10 fucking hard drives either in old towers or external or whatever that I want to take all the files off and look for old videos and stuff like that. But again, add it to the pile of stuff I don't have time to do. Yeah. Well, and once you start posting to PixelFed and Mastodon and stuff, Emrich, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, you and Gutsucker are both techie, but especially, I don't know. Gutsucker's very like, well, I'm only interested in talking to people and nobody I follow is on Mastodon. It's like, there's plenty of people that you would be interested in talking to on Mastodon. But I don't know, whatever. I've given up trying to get people to join Mastodon. If they haven't already, they're not gonna. Neutral place run by volunteers. Yeah. How do you like find new content though? Or you have to know what you're searching for in Internet Archive? Is that how it works? There's a channel on YouTube, I think it's called Internet Archive, and they were one of the ones that got eviscerated in H-Bomber Guy's plagiarism video that like took over the internet for a month or two, where they were revealed basically stealing like the Wikipedia entry from these real life stories and just reading it aloud and pretending like they did it or whatever. And, that's a stolen content thing. Yeah, I got you on Mastodon, but we need to get you to actually use it more. There's a copyright claim feature. Yeah, and the thing about that is that, like, you have to have all your real information, legal information. You can only report your own stuff being taken. There's no way to report other people's stuff being taken. And, like, they send your info to the person that stole your stuff. Which is like, no, I don't want that fucking thief to have my home address. Like, yeah, sure. Sorry, I get a lot of emails, so sometimes stuff falls in the crack. Is it Internet Historian, that was it. Yep, exactly. The cave story one on Internet Historian. Ugh. Alright. I still haven't seen a darkening in the sky, so I don't know where this eclipse is. Anyway, yeah, Hector Martinez, who, if you didn't know, from what I remember, he started the Mexican Nudist Federation, like the nudist organization in Mexico. And part of what we talked about in our interview, too, is that he had a similar thing on Vimeo, where we both hosted our non-sexual nude content on Vimeo, and Vimeo announced that we were using more bandwidth than 99% of the rest of the website, so we had to pay an even larger package or they would take our content down. And I just took my fucking content down because I was already paying $1,000 a year, and they were like, you're using more than... And I was only getting like 200,000 views a month, which is not a lot. For me to be using more bandwidth than 99% of the website. And they did the same thing to Hector, and so Hector made all his videos Patreon donor only, but he has a lot more Patreon donors than me, and it makes sense because he's a cis man talking mostly about nudism, so the other cis men are all excited about it. Anyway, whatever. I have a post, if you go to my band, talktosevis.org/band page, one of the screenshots is a post on Instagram where I, with permission, took a topless photo from him, clearly male, like he's a good looking guy, skinny, tone, whatever. Anyway, I took a topless photo of him and then poorly photoshopped my head over his head. And I believe it was holding a sign that was like support topless equality or something like that. And Instagram took it down saying it was sexually explicit nudity because somehow it flagged it as female nipples, even though it was very clearly a male chest with just my head pasted on front. Like, it's so fucking insane. And this is what I'm talking about. You guys know it, but like, I get banned to a degree that nobody else does. Anyway. You can have a company manage the content. Yeah, that's cool. We can talk about that. That'd be cool. As long as it's not extra work for me, because I'm already stressed trying to catch up on everything. Okay, I don't know who Franceli is, but market nudist-centric non-sexual content. To be clear, this is pertaining to no nudist advocates that already inhabit nudist spaces and created paid content, not sex workers who label their content nudism. That's another conversation entirely. Like, I already am pretty certain what some of these responses are going to be. That's another reason that I don't like to talk to nudists very much, because they are so fucking judgmental about like my artistic nude photography on Gumroad. Artistic nude photography, it's artistic, it's fucking art, just like any other freaking photography or whatever, or like the Patreon where you get exactly the same content that you can watch for free anyway, and they're like, how dare you put a price tag on anything? And I'm like, do you know that editing software costs money, video hosting stuff costs money, social media managing software costs money? God forbid I want to recompensate any, of the hours and hours and hours that goes into making my content. That shit costs money, but I'm banned from monetization, sponsors won't return my emails, like, I don't have options to make money, but they're all fucking middle-aged cis-white male retirees, so yeah. I really don't like talking nudists. I'm so over nudists. I was born and raised a nudist, and much like Christianity, the ones that make me most not want to be consider myself a nudist are the nudists. And then we have, unicorns like Emrich, who is both Christian and a nudist and is a wonderful person. So screw you for throwing off my narrative. Yeah. Vimeo's just fucking, yeah. But, like, that's what I was saying, I had to re-upload my stuff so many times, and I'm just exhausted by it. Oh, I know. Vimeo's full of shit. Vimeo's full of shit. Or Daily Motion, where I tried to post there, and Dailymotion is fucking full of very sexual content, and the same day that I posted one video, which was my Fallacy of Good Men one, where I'm just sitting there topless talking, got banned as like sexually explicit nudity. I get banned to a degree no one else does, and nobody believes me when I say it, and it pisses me off. Anyway. Excuse me, I know that YouTube doesn't ban nudity because I find other channels that has nudity on it. And we all know how big tech is extremely fair and not arbitrary at all in how they ban content, obviously. I'm getting all frustrated. Okay, this move has sparked some backlash with the vocal minority of the community. Is it a minority, though? I mean, God give me the audacity to yell my opinions from the mountaintop of a mediocre white man. DM might as well be I've never been to Dailymotion, my opinions are Dailymotion people steal my videos a lot and put it up on there, which pisses me off. And, you know, the whole banning me the same day. Basically, the problem is that all these platforms are easily weaponized by haters to deplatform content they don't like. So all it has to happen is my dedicated cabal of haters gets wind of my account wherever, and then they mass report all my stuff. And so that's how I have fully clothed videos on YouTube get taken down as, you know, sexually explicit nudity, or I get videos that have nothing to do with anything medical at all get taken out for medical disinformation, all this other stuff, because it's all algorithm based and there is zero protection against weaponized false reporting. And what's so frustrating is when I try to find other people dealing with the same shit, all I get are right-wing Nazis and anti-vaxxers and stuff being like, they ban my content. Like, I can't seem to find people who are in a situation like me where we're actually not even violating anything and we're getting taken down. Sorry. Whoop, shit. Almost showed 2 seconds of a, well, this YouTube's probably gonna get taken down. Anyway. Sparked some backlash with a vocal minority of the community, fellow creators as well, who argue that selling nude photo galleries and videos equates to commercializing sexuality rather than promoting nudism. While it's inevitable that some subscribers may have sexual motivations, the dilemma remains, is it appropriate to monetize one's nudity even if some individuals consume it for illicit purposes? Personally, I see no problem with nudists exercising autonomy over their bodies and choosing to profit from it, provided they are transparent about their intentions and not misrepresenting nudism. But the question remains, is putting your own personal nudist content behind a paywall as an effective means of promoting lifestyle? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Who posted this? Dumpster Bento. I want to get in contact with this person because they seem cool. That fucking attitude among nudists being okay with nudists putting anything behind a paywall, like fucking, well, I don't know how Kenny feels about that, and Kenny's like anti-nudist, is quite extremely rare, at least among the noisier ones. And attribute properly with the handle. Oh yeah, I mean, I figured, you know, and I mean, that's why I have like my banner, and then when I edit videos, I put the logo and stuff like that. So hopefully when my videos get stolen, people at least can get directed to the actual, you know, home account or whatever. Maybe this VidCon will be different. Maybe this one will be the one where I actually meet people I can hire to help me make better videos more often, and, you know, find an actual exec at YouTube that I can be like, hey, you keep banning my fucking videos for no fucking reason. And they can be like, oh no. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Anyway. Acknowledging that nudity is not innately sexual also requires us to acknowledge that sexuality and naturism can coexist. Fantastic point. Not when there are kids around. Nobody brought up kids except you. Thank you. Fucking... I don't mind as long as they're not spamming the nudist groups, which happens way too often with them posting suggestive photos. And of course the question is, where's the line where it's suggestive? Because like, I don't really love it when dudes calling themselves nudists post pictures of themselves with an erect penis. Erections do happen at nudist places, but you are making a very deliberate decision to post a video or picture of yourself with an erection. Very different from happening to get one out in a nudist place. And I also don't like it when they're zoomed in on their dick or they're holding their dick or whatever. That I definitely would argue is sexually suggestive. And And, you know, again, like, all these cis male nudists, and they're like, well, you know, you want to post not sexually topless, why can't I post a photo of me holding my erect dick? And I'm like, really? Like, you think that's the same thing? It's cis men are the problem. All problems can be attributed. I'm being sarcastic. But cis men are definitely in trouble, or are behind a lot of the ills of the world. Not that you can't be a fucking terrible person and a woman, or, you know, non-white or whatever. Just that 99% of the world's problems can be attributed to cis white men. I don't mind it as long as we read that. What bugs me, however, is that almost all of the younger women that post here have links in their bios to paid sex work site. Almost never fails that if I see a picture of an attractive woman here, her page is full of her porn and links to her subscription pages. Not a problem for me personally. I think it gives nudism a bad look. When you visit the sub and there are a bunch of OF creators posting on it that is very disproportionate to OF creators posting in non-nudist subs, it reinforces the bias that nudism equals sex. And a part of that I wonder about is how many of the dudes posting to nudism would totally do OF type stuff if they could, you know, if they had a good chance of making money at it. Because a lot of these dudes, you know, it's like the guys raging at Twitch streamers with female Twitch streamers with low-cut shirts, which, whole other thing there. It's like, are they actually morally opposed to it, or are they fucking jealous that they can't do that? Oh my gosh. What is a cis man? It's a man that still identifies as male and was assigned male at birth. Pot YouTubers got decimated in 2017. They lost 60% of their creators, but I mirrored them already. Many communities experienced that. Yeah. I mean, like, doing stuff like drugs and drinking and stuff on stream, I feel like does normalize it. So I would say that you need to specifically say that it's not, you know, it's not intended for children or whatever like that, except that I've complained about it before where see, it sucks because it's like, where does the line of the censorship begin? Let's start with fucking equality. Let's give the same rights to all genders, not give special privileges to people who look male. That'd be a great foundation. But, you know, with my kids, like, I let them watch YouTube on the weekends, but they can't watch crap. They can't watch reaction channels. They can't watch just, like, violent shit or whatever. And they'll actually get less banal results on adult YouTube. If I put them on kids' YouTube, it is the stupidest fucking shit. And it's like, the standards for what's considered kid safe are all fucked up. Ugh. Had too many what? Dude, there's so many subcategories for people with tattoos. There's a lot of people that fetishize the shit out of tattoos. My nudist group chat went after I tried the yoga class. Allowing artistic nudity was a good idea, argue with so many people I know. And then they rolled it back in one day. One fucking day. That do OF, not even nude 80% of the time. He just works out with a shirt on, responds to chat. Well, and the thing about, like, sex workers and stuff like that is that a lot of it is basically just people who are lonely, but kind of the only acceptable, and even then, you know, it depends on what kind of activity or whatever, acceptable form of paying someone to be in contact with you is a sex worker, because so many people are stigmatized against mental health care. It's also very expensive and hard to find, you know, a trained professional that you can trust or whatever like that. And it's so fucking hard to make adult friends, especially adult friends who you can ethically trauma dump on. That, like, half of what sex workers do is just help lonely people feel less lonely. I have that interview I did a long time ago that's fully clothed with Carly Ostegard, who is a surrogate partner, basically, like, helps, kind of a sex worker, but not jump straight to having sex with someone, but, like, actually, like, works with them to help them feel less awkward around people and stuff like that. And we were having a conversation about that in the Discord a while ago, about how we need to, like, normalize some kind of hire a friend service where, yeah, it's not a real friendship so much as it's more like a training thing, teaching you how to be around someone without being awkward, without being creepy, how to be respectful. Not that you have to change your behavior. I mean, not that you have to change your personality, but just you know, all these conversations that we're not fucking having in school about consent and everything like that, a non-stigmatized way for people to get training to be a good person, so they're not falling into fucking alpha male, you know, Andrew Tate type courses of like, you know, this is how you get women, treat them like shit, you know, that kind of shit, because those people are out for profit and they're creating terrible individuals at the same time. But, you know, the fucking alpha male toxic masculinity thing has taught our guys to feel shame at the idea of wanting to train just to become a better person, to pay for training to become a better person. So the only acceptable training they can go for without getting mocked by other dudes steeped in toxic masculinity is shit like Andrew Tate. Toxic masculinity hurts everybody. Everybody suffers under the patriarchy, not just women. If you're mad that you are a guy and you're not allowed to cry or whatever, don't blame women, blame the patriarchy. Being identified. Yeah. You could always be a VTuber. There's lots of VTubers on like Onlyfans or on Twitch and stuff like that, and you could always like make an adult, you know, adult VTube avatar or whatever. Makes eye contact, aggressively approaches, do you like Digimon, do not do this. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, I've talked about the Love on a Spectrum show or whatever, and I like it. I think it really humanizes people with autism, which, spoiler, I have autism. And the idea of like having some training on how to become friends and become romantically, you know, involved with people or whatever, like should be normalized for everybody. And there's different arguments on that. Like, there's definitely people that think when someone has autism, everyone should adjust to the autistic person. And then there's other models where it's like autistic people should learn how to mask and pretend to be normal or whatever. And I think, you know, in an ideal world, sure, like, let's all just accept each other as we are. But until we reach that quixotic parity, I think it helps to learn. Like, I had a fucking miserable childhood and young adulthood, and I didn't even know I was autistic until, you know, my 20s, because women are so more seldom diagnosed, because for some reason women tend to present less. And I wish that I had known, because I always just thought I was a freak. And I mean, knowing that you have autism doesn't necessarily mean that you don't feel like a freak when people are being assholes to you. But I always just never could make friends, and I would just be really jealous of people. Like, even the losers on TV shows would still have 1 or 2 friends, and I didn't even have that. That's why I love video games. Don't be aggressive, but asking about Digimon is pretty important. I think you can learn about a person through their favorite Digimon. I want Digimon to become popular again. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Often looking in the mirrors, I made Cleo looks. I have 200 of your videos on Vimeo and her Twitch. I wonder which ones. Hopefully, so I've been putting my live streams up on Trom because one of my regulars, Zan, says that it's important or whatever. I feel like nobody's gonna watch a 3.5 hour long live stream recording, but I don't know. Like, it's fine to be passionate about something, and like I you know, one of my big things that I'm passionate about is making videos, is the content creator world. I love fucking talking about this shit, but I can't seem to find anyone in real life, in, you know, physical touch life, who even watches other video essayists or anything like that. Like, they might watch like a random video that their friend sent them on Facebook, but I never seem to meet anyone who has like video essayists or streamers or whatever that they regularly watch that we can talk about stuff like that with. And so it sucks. Like, I can only basically talk on live streams about it because, you know, you guys are my beholden audience. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave. I have autism too. I mask in public, but you shouldn't at home. I'm lucky I found someone who just rolls with what I do and say. They claim to have never had a dull day around me. That's the thing with my husband. Like, we definitely have fights, and he has some traits that I really resent, but I never feel like I have to not be weird around him. Like, I can just be myself and enthuse about the things that I enthuse about. He is a little like, he has autism too, and so he definitely can be dismissive if I'm talking about something that he doesn't care about. And I mean, vice versa. Like, he starts going on about math stuff, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I just let him talk, because I'm like over here doing whatever. So, you know, I get it. Streaming myself playing games on joystick, I don't think I have it in me. I think streaming is fun. Like, once you have at least one or two people to chat with, like, this is a good, you know, I'm glad that I spontaneously decided to do this, because here we are having a conversation, and I'm getting to talk to some people that don't talk on my other streams very often. It's fun. Like, I don't watch recordings of live streams, because the only reason that I would want to be at a live stream is to interact with the person. And then the hard part is, like, kind of scaling myself back so I'm not, like, dominating the chat, which is hard for me sometimes. By which I mean all the time. Let's see. Who aren't you frequently watch live stream bots? Well, that's, I don't know. I mean, if it's entertaining to you, I'm glad. I think I just don't feel like I could possibly be entertaining enough to watch just to watch. Like, the only reason you might want to talk to me is as a conversation, but that's my own freaking self-esteem shit. How large do you think the totality in the entire hall is? I mean, if you include live streams, probably over 1,000. But if you're talking about just videos that I, you know, edited and stuff, I have no idea, honestly. Maybe 400 if you count shorts, more than that. But videos that I actually think are worth keeping around, maybe 200? I don't know. If I can find some kind of assistance so I can actually do videos like I have all these ideas for, then I'd have a higher number. I need to just fucking sit down and just get stuff done. Like, I was thinking, you know, oh, I'll edit my second podcast episode with M. Rich, or the second Dungeons and Drag Queens interview I did, or the Diva Cup review or whatever, but I was just like, I don't wanna. I'm just not in the mood to edit, especially since, you know, I really don't get a lot of views on my stuff. And yeah, you know, if my content was better, I might get more views, but also just the fact that because I'm shadow banned so much, it's really tiring to put 20 fucking hours into a video that, like, 10 people comment on and 100 people see. Like, it's just, it's tiring. So it's just like, why don't I just, you know, I could just shit out a 1-minute video, like, enraging all the fucking gun nuts, and get way more attention than something that I spent 4 months editing, you know. Not that all attention is good attention, but I don't know. Our society's fucked up. You should watch the new Jacob Geller video, Art for No One. I just watched it last night, and his videos are fucking amazing, and it's really interesting. It's about, like, art exhibits that either, like, are not intended to be seen, or, like, they were discovered after the artist died or whatever. It's really good, really good. Go look up Jacob Geller. Jacob, J-A-C-O-B, Geller, G-E-L-L-A-R. His videos are on YouTube, and then he's also on Nebula, which sometimes he can post more info to Nebula because he's not as beholden to worrying about the algorithms or whatever. But you're glad I'm here too. Aww. I can't seem to quit, so I can come dominate your chat. I would love to do that. I want to watch you stream. I want to watch your 17th time beating Liza P. Ah, man. Okay. A group allows not safe for work pictures. It gets whatever free image is being used to promote their OF page. Doesn't matter what the sub is about. Do I have a problem with it? Not in the least. Folks gotta pay the bills. Do I think it does a lick in good of terms of advocacy or education? Also not in the least. Okay, but you can be a nudist who is also a sex worker. Like, that's fucking, when I did my interview with Eden Blair years ago, we talked about that, how, you know, she said, like, if she could trade doing sex work for having the right to go topless in public, she definitely would. Which I don't know if she was kidding, but who is gonna know the difference between nudity and sex more than a sex worker, where you're literally paid to do sexual stuff? The ones who cannot fucking separate nudity from sex, I don't know. It just frustrates me that I feel like nudists who are so anti-sex, anti-whatever, are just tying themselves in a hole. You can be a nudist who is also a sex worker. You can also be a nudist who sells artistic nude art without being a fake nudist. Again, it's just so much classism. And that's why I have to do, again, I need to write a script and everything for that, the isms of nudism video that I want to do, where it's like talking about the classism and racism and transphobia and stuff like that of a lot of nudist spaces, because you have so many fucking middle-aged, retired, old cis white people among nudists who are just like, they already have a disposable income. They already don't have to worry about being at a 9-to-5. They already have a fucking luxury RV that they can afford to drive 3 states away to go to a fucking nudist resort. And like, their head is so far up their asses that they're like, what? It's not that expensive to go to a fucking nudist resort, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it fucking is if you don't have transportation or you can't get the time off work. To say nothing of, like, being from a family that will, like, ostracize you if they find out you go. Like, there's a lot of fucking barriers, but, you know, straight white cis people tend to be so accustomed to privilege that, like, any argument against what they have experienced, they're like, no, you're making that up. Anyway, for the sake of argument, let's take for granted that the people paying for this aren't just voyeurs using it as fantasy fodder. A questionable assumption. In reality, it's probably most of them, and it's people of good faith who are paying for this. That's the thing. You can't filter out people buying access to your content to wank and people buying access to it to actually support you. I have to be okay with perverts buying my stuff. Otherwise, there's no way for me to put anything out there. I hate it. I fucking repeatedly say, don't treat my stuff as sexual, and if you insist on treating it as sexual, don't fucking tell me about it. And they still fucking do, either because it's a power play for them to be like, haha, you can't stop me, or because they're idiots. Alright, thank you. It was nice to talk to you a little bit. Hopefully I see you on some other platforms, and not just YouTube. Yeah, anyway. I forgot what I was talking about. There's some under blah, 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 blah. Where is it? No one who's merely curious about nude recreation or considering trying social nudity is going to whip out a credit card to watch someone's Patreon. That's not what Patreon is. But anyway, no one is watching it except for nudists and probably voyeurs because it's behind a paywall, which means you're only reaching the already converted people who want to support what they do because they're nudists and want to support nudism. But exactly how does that support anything other than the person making the content? There's some underpants gnomes logic going on there. What? If you want to fork over money to support nudism, use it to patronize a club or resort. The best kind of support is people showing up at the door, as that's what keeps venues alive. And if enough people do, that entices entrepreneurs to create more. And if you get something out of it as well, that's way better than a video of a naked people, an actual experience, an opportunity to meet like-minded people and make new friends. On the surface, yeah, like, if you have the means to go to a nudist place or whatever and you want to, by all means go. But money, time off work, travel, transphobia, racism, anti-tattoo, anti-LGBTQ, like, there's so many fucking barriers. Anti-single male, which, you know, is a complicated thing because, yeah, you're going to get a lot of single males that are just there to wank off, but it sucks for the single males that aren't there to wank off, but they're not allowed because they don't know which ones are there to wank off. So it's a very privileged take to be like, oh, if you want to support nudism, just go to nudism. And also, like, this is talking about people who are, like, doing the work of spreading the word about nudism or whatever, which takes fucking time and money. If you're doing something like, you know, Hector Martinez or whatever, like, these people are so accustomed to getting everything for free. And don't know if you noticed, but the old white retired cis male nudists are not typically spending their time making videos about nudism or whatever like that. Maybe there's some out there and I don't know about them. Good for them if they are, but for the most part, they're just sitting there judging people who are. And it's just the maximized viewpoint that people have in general, that like making content is effortless. You just turn a camera on and vomit out your opinion and become a millionaire. I vomit my opinion out on camera all the fucking time, have for 15 years, 19 years, however old YouTube is, and I still don't fucking make any money out of it, so that's clearly not true. And, you know, if I was independently wealthy and didn't have to take care of my kids or the house or anything like that and could just spend all day working on content, I would love to. That'd be great. That's not reality. Unfortunately. I'm spitting on my screen. Okay. What I find a bit hilarious here is that people express shock that somebody would try to make money off nudism. I'm 60 plus years old and people have been doing so well before the internet. Back then, people used paper to print magazine books, and if I remember right, some newsletters, papers, at some point videos were a thing. The medium was changed and access is far wider spread, but the goal is the same for the makers, dollars. If it wasn't for the money, we would see a lot more free sites, though our government has made sure people are making money on these sites. And that's the other thing too, is like fucking like YouTube and all these free websites don't allow nudity. The only sites that you can post nudity to are porn sites. And it's like, if these fucking platforms allowed non-sexual nudity, you'd see a lot more nudist activists posting shit, you know, posting their stuff on there. Like, the fucking myopia of these people is just driving me nuts. Message retracted. What did freaking YouTube just try to ban something you said? Speaking of, nude resorts in most places are more often than not glorified campgrounds. That interests me in no way. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing that I've ranted about before, is that like nudist resorts are fucking boring. If you don't already have friends there, or you're going with somebody that you're friends with, or you really like camping naked or something, there's like nothing to do. It's like, oh, go swimming naked or lay out in the sun naked. Okay, you're gonna pay money and drive hours and hours to do that? Like, yeah, being naked in public is like your whole personality maybe, but there's nothing, they don't have like video game competitions or movie nights or whatever that I've really seen. It's literally just pay money and drive really far to be in public and be naked in public. Cool. I'm not that interested in being naked. 2 of which are 30 minutes of me, and all of them are just campgrounds. Yeah. Like, I like going to the nude beach, and one, it's because there's a lot more space. You know, you're not going to a beach and having to fight with 20 people playing fucking blasting speakers with music I hate. Why do people do that? Why the fuck do people go to parks and beaches and stuff and just get a sound studio and blast their music? Fuck you if you do that. Anyway, but of course getting out to the nudist beaches is really fucking hard, and I don't like my kids being I don't like my kids being naked in places like that, because there's no protection from people taking fucking photos and videos of my kids. But it's like, you know, or I can't be, you know, even if my kids were fully dressed, if I'm naked, people are going to take pictures of me naked with my kids in the picture, doing bad stuff to themselves, you know, diddling themselves to a picture with my kids in it. It's just like, we need nudist resorts that are free, that vet who goes there, and that have active, like, people policing, making sure people are not, like, recording with their phones and stuff. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't know. Tried the yoga class. That's like when I did the interview with the Just Naked guy, and they would have events in New York that were, you know, non-sexual nude, and they had to constantly deal with people who would come there expecting to like hook up with people, even though they said over and over it's not sexual. That'd be fun the first few times, but yeah, that would get stale fast. Oh, the camping, yeah. I follow a local group connected to the yoga class that does moving game rights. Like, one fucking time, there's this, like, 20s and 30s-year-old nudist group on Facebook. I don't even use Facebook, but one of my regulars does. And he told me about this event where they rented use of a indoor pool for a couple of hours. And it was great. I went there with my kids. It was a little awkward because my kids were the only ones there, and I did a video about it. my experience at this nudist thing or whatever, there was like one group of gay guys that like were just like, why are they here? And then there were a couple of trans women who loved having my kids there. They were like playing with them. It was really cute. And then my husband and the gutsucker who told me about the event and then me were there. And it was great because nobody was filming my kids or me. And it was fun, but it was a one-time thing. They rented this pool one time and the group kind of fell apart. And also like I'm almost too old because once you hit 40 they don't let you participate, and so everything else is like middle-aged people hours and hours and hours away at campgrounds. Yeah, Luna Bunny, or Bunny Luna, I was talking about Bunny Luna before. The one, except Bunny Luna is specifically not nudist, is a normalized nudity supporter like I am. That was part of what we talked about in our interview. The one kind of clothes at least try to have some activities. You'd be the only black guy, likely only on under 50, probably the only one who's not a Trumper. Yep. A lot of Trumpers among nudists too. That's another thing that I don't. Long time no see. So you must not follow me on any other social media, because I'm constantly active everywhere. But hey, it's nice. Nice if you're found your way here now. 12:30. I don't know how long I was gonna stream. I literally was just like, oh, T-Boy. I remember T-Boy. That's funny because I was ranting about how, at least on Joystick, which I stream on Joystick on Tuesdays, except I can't this week because I have to take my dad to a doctor's appointment, which a lot of the people that were on Plexstorm came to Joystick. And one of the things I love about Joystick is that you don't have to have ads and previews of other people's streams on the margins of your page. People can just go straight to joystick.tv/u/topless to see my stream. Plexstorm would always play the other people on the side, and so people who didn't want to see porn wouldn't come to my streams because they didn't want to see porn, and I do not blame them. Now, if you go to Joystick's main page, I'm basically the only one who doesn't have a camera focused on my crotch. There's like 2 or 3 other people that apparently stream non-sexually, but they are never streaming when I'm there. That'd be cool. I know that they Bunny Luna does events and stuff like that, but they're far away. I don't know. I want to put together a topless protest here in Portland in the summer, but I don't really know how to get that started. The thing is that I don't really know other people who would participate, certainly no femme-presenting people, and I don't really want to be the only femme-presenting person topless amongst a bunch of dudes. Also, it's scary because even though full nudity is theoretically allowed in Oregon as long as it's not intended for sexual purposes, Portland somehow has more restrictions against nudity, and as we all know, female nipples are considered nudity, so it's nerve-wracking. Plus, what if people from my kids' school see me there? I really don't want I need to get out of the fucking PTA because it's holding me back, where I'm just I'm scared of them finding out about my content, and it's just I don't want to. I like helping the kids, putting together movie nights and stuff like that, but I hate the bureaucracy, and I hate the fucking what if they find out about the fact that I want the same right to go topless online and in public that men do? That 50 years ago, nudity would have been the most left-wing communist thing you could do, and now there are Trumpers going nude. Yep. Well, it's all about individual liberty, right? Oh yeah, I deserve the right to go naked in public, but you don't deserve the right to control your own body. Fucking Trumpers. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep saying it. Old, cis white, Republican. Nudists are not interesting to me. What am I gonna do? Even if they're not Trumpers, even if they're liberal, we still have very different interests for the most part. And it's I don't care about nudity. I don't want to talk about being naked all the time. That's incredibly boring to me. So what else are we going to talk about, I don't know. Anyway, I did a video that I put up a week or 2 ago. I actually recorded a live stream for it, and then I edited it into a video a while ago. What? There it is. All right. So I put this video up 10 days ago, and I recorded it like 2 weeks prior, and it's basically like going over this article that I was reading. But yeah, like this is a photo from the 1940s, and I couldn't even show it on YouTube because I get banned to a degree that no one else does, because it's a somewhat sheer top where you can kind of see her nipples. They were less restrictive on, you know, cable that everyone could see in the 1940s than we are now. See, that sounds nice. Like getting to walk around the forest. Like the only enjoyable experiences I've had being naked in public are swimming, because swimsuits are fucking uncomfortable, and like walking in nature when it's like, you know, not freaking cold and there's not whatever you call them, brambles everywhere. Like that's kind of nice. Didn't really like getting naked in the California nudist resorts because it's very hot and full of spikes and stuff like that. And then of course that's without getting into the whole fucking towel thing where it's like, oh, just carry a towel around with you so you can sit on things. It's like, yeah, or I could just wear pants and not have to worry about sitting on someone else's sweat or brambles or, you know, a rough ground or whatever. Ugh. Sherwood Forest, that's cute. I like that. Hi. That's cool. I like that. Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's getting brighter. So maybe that was... I literally can't tell because it's so fucking cloudy. I can't tell if any of that was eclipse or if it was just cloud. The fruits, they're tasty. That's one thing I do like about living in the Pacific Northwest is all... Well, it's fun to go blackberry picking when I'm going for a nature walk. It's not fun having fucking blackberries take over my goddamn yard. They are definitely a weed. They grow like crazy and they have big nasty spikes. So I don't love that part. But you know, nature has a right to exist. Nature doesn't care that it's my backyard. Okay. If you want to fork over money, people do that, entices entrepreneurs to create more. That's a bingo. Conversely, buying access to a paywalled site with a carload of nude pics doesn't necessarily support nudism. Going to a nudist event does. Subscribing to N. Joining the Nature Society does. Joining ANRB does. Okay, but that's not helping. This is specifically about like the nudist influencers or whatever, people bringing awareness about nudism. Those places, Nature Society or whatever, are terrible about, you know, outreach and informing other people about nudism and stuff like that. Like, they're not doing the influencing or whatever. People don't join something like ANR unless they're already a nudist. And also, fucking price point. Like, basically, charging for, like, you know, Onlyfans or whatever like that is kind of a necessary evil to be a to be able to pay for anything like video hosting or whatever, because people like this are so used to getting everything for free that they will never pay, you know, to support someone who is raising awareness about nudism or whatever like that. Like, they're so used to everything being free that they're never gonna be like, hey, I support what this person's doing. I'm gonna help them keep the lights on. So they're not the ones paying. The only people willing to pay for anything are people looking for wank material. Ugh, I didn't put the window back. There we go. I've been on the same screen, so be nude, do whatever you want, non-sexual, otherwise ain't nobody's business otherwise. See, I like that. So far, some of these are actually fairly positive responses. I'm very surprised. Did we have, what's his name, nudism bro or whatever it is? There's like two guys that constantly post on anything that are very misogynistic, that are the ones where, like, if women wanted the right to go topless, they'd be going topless where it's allowed. And it's like, dude, my dude, there are very, very few people where women are allowed to go topless. And second of all, they don't want their stuff showing up on porn sites, you know? Like, it's not that more women don't want the right to go topless, it's that we're not allowed, and even if we're allowed, not all of us want to end up on porn sites. I don't want to end up on porn sites, but I've accepted that that's what happens when you dare to challenge the patriarchal notion that, you know, only men deserve the right to go topless online and in public. Yeah, I don't know. I know Hector M. I think he's a clean nudist advocate, so I don't care what platforms he uses. Hector is such an amazing, charismatic guy. I've never had my doubts about him or Francelli. The fact that he was, like, defending the porn bots, I remember irritated me, but I can't remember exactly what he said, so I need to look up to see if I still have that interview online. Let me look up my website really quick. Obviously not show my website, but here, let me open up here. I don't even know what it would be under. Let me just search for Hector. Well, there's the picture of the male nip for equality picture that got banned. I want to show it, but I can't without getting in trouble on YouTube for showing nudity. Yeah, I don't see it when I search for Hector. So I need to try to find a copy of it somewhere and put it back up. The joy of losing all my fucking access to all my stuff. I love your videos. What is your Reddit? I don't use Reddit. Sorry, I just realized someone was talking on TikTok for the first time since I've been streaming. I'm just looking at this Reddit thread because one of my community members linked to it. I don't use Reddit because they banned my account years ago for posting a screenshot of some violent threats I got from some dude with the most generic email ever, and Reddit said that I doxed him, and so I went, okay, fuck you, Reddit. But I have many other forms of contact at toplesstopics.org/contact, so you can look for stuff there. He didn't defend the porn bot so much as he believes that people can be converted if given a chance versus your view, block first, don't ask questions later. That was it. Again, if I had someone else who could be in charge of my social media, I would be less aggressive about banning people who come in saying sexual shit to me. It just really sucks when I put a video up and the only comments I get are dudes being thirsty assholes. So if I had more actual supporters speak up in the comments, that would encourage me to not be so quick to ban them. But because Hector is a guy and doesn't deal with the types of craziness that women deal with. Yup. That is a factor. Sorry. Forget being a man who wants to go. You need a background check, possibly ANR, and an annual membership, and they still want to turn you around because your partner doesn't want to go that day. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is like, it's not viable to just be like, well, if you want to be a nudist, just go to a nudist resort. That's why, like, if I had the time and didn't have to worry about my kids or whatever, like, I would love to put together, you know, nudist hangouts or whatever. Like, I still have this dream of renting a, like, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom Airbnb with a pool with some of the regulars, and we just hang out for a week. But first of all, like, paying for all that or whatever would be require setup, and second of all, just because I might feel okay being naked around them, I'm not so keen to have my kids be naked around people I've never met before in real life. And also, like, I don't really want to have to deal with people being like, why wasn't I allowed to go? I talk to you on Discord sometime. It's like, yeah, but I don't really know you. Hit me up about what? Oh, the social media thing? Yeah. So I thought you were talking about, like, renting an Airbnb, and I was like, no, that's a someday maybe. If someone else wants to organize that, I can, like, tell people about it. I'll happily do that. But yeah. Good on them. Some Onlyfans I've looked at are gym routines. No issue at all with them earning some extra cash. You have to pay the bills somehow. Thank you! I don't care as long as it's not in a club, beach, etc. A lot of nude spaces are family friendly, and creating content that shows a kid nude is illegal. Is putting your own personal nudist content behind a paywall an effective means of promoting lifestyle? I don't think so, no. IMO, it's more like misrepresenting it. It's just commercializing nudity, which is already done in droves, and it's known as sex sells. It's nothing new, and it's not what nudism is about. There are, of course, edge case things like nude yoga classes, fucking yoga. Again, like Twitch and everything like that, you got these girls with skin-colored, skin-tight outfit, butt first towards the camera, and somehow that's allowed, but I can't sit there without a shirt because that's sexual. It's so fucking arbitrary and shitty. Just have a soft porn category, Twitch. Have a soft porn category, have a have the same fucking topless equality for everyone. Like, if you're gonna ban female nipples as sexually explicit, ban male nipples too. Which they used to until they got their hot tubs and pools category. Probably cheaper than you trying to find a nude resort in Mexico. Yeah. See, and like maybe if, you guaranteed to have other women there, like your wife would be more encouraged to go. Because that's the thing too, like with nudist resorts or whatever, especially if you're a woman alone, it's also intimidating because unfortunately guys tend to pay women too much attention, and it happens with nudist men too. Like, I have nudist men who will be like, oh, I love your tits. Like, it's like, the fuck? Like, you would think that they would understand how to behave themselves around women, but misogyny runs deep. The patriarchy runs deep. Just because a guy likes having his ding-dong out in public doesn't mean that he is going to treat women with respect. Especially if they're a Trumper. Oh my god. Yeah, the fucking hypocrisy of what's considered sexual or not is just... But those can cross lines if they're not careful and wind up something they didn't mean to. Other cases, though, there's no way around it. You just have to take care and monitor your market to make sure it doesn't shift into being one you don't want. My disagreement is more to do with things like Onlyfans and the like. Okay, but how are they going to pay the bills? To your point, I found one creator in particular paywalled a video of themselves showering, which I found to be very fetishy. Oh, God. Remember the thing with the fucking guy who was DMing me wanting a video of me showering and was like, well, how can you put up nude photos of yourself in nature and say that doing a shower video is a fetish material? Oh, it's very interesting. I'm like, yeah, a fucking video of me showering at request is not the same thing as me out in nature wearing a fucking costume, being a nymph or whatever like that. Like, it's such a false argument. God, it's fucking trash. Trash people. As a self-comment. Yeah. It sucks, like all that negative attitude that people get, body positivity and stuff like that. Like, it's nerve-wracking to go naked because you can't hide or accentuate your form without, with no clothes on. So you're bearing all, and it's just like, even if you're conventionally attractive, it's still nerve-wracking because you're gonna have men fucking staring at you. Yes, even in nude resorts, if you are youngish and female, you're gonna have guys staring at you. Maybe not as openly if it's nudists, but you're still gonna have straight cis men staring at you. Anyway. Not necessarily all the time. And hopefully, like, if they become friends with you or whatever, they'll learn to, like, raise their eyes. But, I don't know. Anyway. So that's nerve-wracking. And, again, the reason you're going to see a lot of female sex workers who are okay being naked online is because women who don't want to be online sexually know they're going to be treated as sexually anyway. So you kind of have to be okay with people treating you sexually to be naked online or even topless online. Or you have to, if not okay with it, just understand that it will happen and decide that it's still worth more to you to be topless online, even though people are going to treat you sexually. Because I don't want people to treat me sexually. Like, again, I'm very block happy. If someone calls me, uses sexual words at me, I'm gonna block them. Men stare at fully clothed women, so how do you manage it? That's what I'm saying, though, is like, women get ogled regardless, but, you're gonna get 10,000 times more ogled naked or topless. So it definitely requires a lot of confidence and devil may carity. to be willing to go even topless in public, let alone naked, as a woman, because people will stare. Because the only time you're allowed to see female nipples is in situations that allow full nudity, and in general, the only places that allow full nudity are sex sites and nudist resorts. And sex clubs. Let's see. To your point, I'm not sure what it has to do with nudism, but their other content was very pro-nudism, so it didn't bother me. They can both coexist, and yeah, it definitely muddies the water and creates problems. It's worse so for people who don't understand the difference and not necessarily at fault for doing so. I mean, the only thing about fucking nudist content on sex sites is if they're doing something sexual and they're marking it as nudism. When you're stroking your dick on camera and you say nudism, or you're like, you know, whatever, like fucking pin-up poses, calling it nudism, that pisses me off. Or full-on fucking actual porn, which is what happens. There's all these, you know, you go to Twitter or whatever, you look up nudism and 90% of the posts are full-on porn. That I obviously am very against, because nudism is not porn. But it's not the same thing as someone being a nudist who also does sex work. I don't mind if anyone has an Onlyfans. I just feel like it's a little opportunistic to use nudism just to sell content. If you're living your life, you want to make money, that's perfectly fine. I just hate when people pretend that sexual things are not sexual and call it nudism. They're annoying because they give people the wrong idea what nudism is, and then people like me have to deal with idiots asking if my dad gets aroused seeing me naked, and we all get to read countless posts about erection. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I mean, you know, I have videos, old videos of me sitting there topless next to my dad and talking about being born and raised a nudist, and all the fucking comments are like, oh, he must fuck his daughter. And it's just like, holy shit, dude. Get therapy. Just because you think the sight of female nipples is going to coerce you to rape them, even if you're blood related, does not mean that's true for everybody else. American society's fucking stupid. Puritanical society's fucking stupid. Anyway. I mean, same thing, like, I'm topless around my house all the time, just like my husband, and I don't think my kids are gonna get hot and bothered about it. They don't give a shit. The only people who give a shit about nudity are the people who are raised, you know, if someone is freaking out about you being naked, the problem isn't you being naked, the problem is them freaking out. They can just look the other way if it offends them that much. Anyway, I don't mind if anyone has an OnlyFans. I read that. Okay. Idiots asking if my dad gets aroused seeing me naked. Are you shitting me? Oh, no, dude, that happens all the time. Couldn't even begin to count how many times someone had asked me that or just gotten blatantly sexual with me as a child because they think nudism just an abhorrent category. Yeah. Yikes, those people definitely invade the subreddit and the meetup sub. I posted about a meetup for me and my partner was immediately bombarded with requests for photos of my girlfriend. Yeah, buddy, sure, I'll get right on that. Lamau. Deleted post. I wish they would get better at it here in Australia because the prudes have a stranglehold over nudists here. One by one, our freedom to enjoy nude beaches is eroded. I'm quite happy to support it. More the merrier. Man, so far these are really not bad responses. There's only been like 2 or 3 people that are like, no Onlyfans. And, you know, they're financially secure people who think that it takes no effort to make content. When I see OnlyFans, I think sexual content, so I don't think that's the right place for natures and news to promote our lifestyle. If we want to raise money, use Patreon and other services. Clearly, this guy didn't get the memo that Patreon is becoming even more anti-nudity. I do think it's a little sad some of their subscribers are not really into natures of nudity. It does piss me off a little that they make money off those poor souls. Poor souls. Nonetheless, as many have said, they gotta pay bills and their content is legit, non-explicit as far as I know. Plus, they are promoting something I truly believe in. I stopped following them, but I don't really think they're bad. It's just a personal thing. As long as they continue to maintain a clean image and promote a healthy practice, I have almost no hard feelings towards them. Note, in my humble opinion, the ideal naturist nudist influencer is something like Nick and Lynn, classy, joyful, and chill. And I also think everyone is on their own right, in their own right, to be themselves and manage their business with their own criteria. So that makes me think of another issue, which I get a lot of, as you would expect, I get a lot of men who want me to do fetish material for them, and I always say no. And people are like, you know, how can you be pro-sex work but unwilling to do sex work? And it's because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do sexual things on camera. I'm totally fine with people that do want to, but I don't want to. And don't feel like I should be pressured into it because it's like, oh, well, you already have your nipples visible online. You're basically the same as doing bleep and bleep and bleep and bleep. No, they're not the same. And also, I think it would confuse the thing if I was doing, like, I'm not going to, but if I ever was to actually start doing sexually explicit stuff, I would not do it under the label of Topless Topics. Topless Topics is purely wanting the same fucking rights as men to go topless online and in public. It is not being a sex worker. And then you get people who are like, oh my god, you did an interview with a sex worker. Because, talking to someone who does porn is obviously the same as actually having porn on camera. People are stupid. Did you all die? You stopped talking. I'm gonna stop streaming if you guys aren't here. Hi, old man metal. I've been following you for years. Sorry, I'm streaming on YouTube and on TikTok, so I'm not seeing all the comments necessarily. Gatekeeping and quality control based on behavior in nudist spaces. I need more explanation on it. Like, give me a specific instance of what you're talking about, because I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. I think that there does need to be some quality control as far as, like, if people are, looking at my... Well, again, I don't call myself a nudist anymore. I'm a normalized nudity. I am a nudity, non-sexual nudity supporter. I think that thinking that classifying all nudity as sex is absurd, and I think that classifying all female nipples but not male nipples as nudity is fucking sexist. But that out of the way, there is a difference between nudism or normalizing nudity and sexual activity, and I don't really want to go to a place where I have to see porn. Or read people, like, describing their fetishes or something. That is something that kind of sucks about Mastodon, is that it's very pro-sex worker, which is great, but it can be kind of overwhelming where it's like I'm trying to find people who will express an opinion, like, that I agree with or whatever, and we, like, talk, and I'm like, oh, cool, we think alike about a lot of stuff, but then I follow them, and then they're posting porn. And you can set it so you don't see the images or whatever, but it just kind of sucks that it's hard for me to find people who believe in topless equality, but aren't either cis male nudists, who only want full body nudity, or they're sex workers, which, again, is great. I'm totally pro-sex worker, but it's like, where are the people like me who are not cis male nudists, and not sex workers, but still think that all genders should have the same right to be topless? Like, anyway. Yeah. Point being that I don't have any plans to ever do sexually explicit stuff, but if I did, it would not be under the Topless Topics moniker. Nick and Lynn do a nice job. I think that's the Naturist Wandering is what they're talking about. Who do, like, they're fine. They're, like, kind of fun travel posts or whatever about where they're going, not just naked, we're naked, oh my god, I love being naked. Like, they actually do stuff when they're out doing stuff. They do stuff when they're out doing stuff. You know what I'm trying to say. Now, promotion requires multiple perspectives. Further, they seem to be primarily promoting to other nudists and not exactly expanding the community in the way promoting to non-nudists can. They're promoting nudism to everyone. If someone's at home is nudist curious, show that person this could be you. I come here in Boston Nudist, occasionally nudist meetup, to tell folks where they can go, what they can do, and what they can expect. Get off the video consult, get out, socialize, and live. Again, if you have the money and travel and free time and aren't of a marginalized community where you're likely to deal with bullying and gatekeeping and all that shit, or not even marginalized, just a single male, this is a very privileged take. But I do agree that, if you want more people to participate in nudism, you have to have something to do besides be naked. Content creation costs money. Thank you! Oh, it's you, M. Rich. Of course you said that. I was like, yay, someone gets, oh, it's you. I mean, I still appreciate you speaking out for us, but content creation costs money. That's the long and short of it. I like them and Nude Blogger. They really make me want to travel, not necessarily nudity friendly, just travel in general. I've heard of them. I don't really want, like, I have to seek their stuff out very much. I don't know, man. I just really don't care about nudity. I don't really care about talking about it. I don't really care about, all the let's just talk about being naked all the time thing. It's just boring to me. I mean, I love that it exists, and I love that it's, other people are getting something out of it, that it's helping other people separate the difference, you know, understand the difference between nudity and sex. But I personally am not interested in looking at content like that. Yeah, I figured out. That posted more about creating spaces for local individuals to hang out. That would be good. I mean, again, like, I wish that one group that had the pool thing one time would be a regular thing and not kick us out once we turn 40. Because all the nudist things are all really far away and take a lot of time, money, and travel to get to. And it's like, I can barely get my husband to leave the house to go downtown for like a day at the park. I would not be able to get him to leave the fucking house for like a weekend. Plus, who would watch our dogs? It would have to be a dog-friendly place because my dogs can't be left alone that long, and I don't know anyone to hire to watch them, except maybe Gutsucker, except that Gutsucker would want to go to the nudist place too, so. Let's see. And he has his own animals he has to take care of, so. I thought her channel got shut down. Maybe she's a blogger, like writing about it, I think. God, I wish there was a platform that allowed female nipples and didn't allow porn. God, I wish there was one. I mean, Trom doesn't allow porn. They allow full nudity, but they don't allow porn. But there's no really discoverability within PeerTube, and trying to get people to come from like YouTube or whatever to PeerTube is like pulling teeth. Even for the allure of tits, I still can't get people to go there. And of course, it's worse that I can't link to any of my stuff, like a clickable link, because YouTube will give me a strike for linking to porn if I link to any of my own stuff, even though it's specifically not porn. Yeah. But I can wear skin-tight, skin-color leggings and shake my booty at the camera, and that's somehow totally fine and not sexual at all. It's so fucking stupid. But when so back to Emmerich's post, who of course gets it. The only reason this keeps coming up in discussion is because the only places you can be nude online, sexually or non-sexually, is sites that allow sexual content. When some nudists win the lotto or inherit large sums of money, we can revisit the conversation, but until then, content creators need money to keep making quality content, and sites like Onlyfans and Patreons are the only place to do it. And nobody replied to you, I'm sad. Good for the people who do it, bad for nudism and naturism, because most people will not separate the sexual environment for non-sexual nudity, no matter how much you try to spin it. I don't mind them doing it, but I think anyone with a sex worker link in their profile should not be posting images in nudist spaces. Those detract, not contribute. Plenty of other subs for that. I mean, it depends on the image. Like, yeah, if it's a picture of you being sexually suggestive, I don't think you should post it in a nudist space, but if it's just you being naked, why not? To me, if you monetize it, then it's sexualized and therefore not my definition of nudism, but I pay no mind to it. The world doesn't revolve around me. I think it sheds bad light on naturism or nudism alike. OnlyFans is awful. What is this link to? Refinery 29. I'm not going to click on it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. But the videos are private. There's a portion, YouTube shut her down a few channels like hers, but they've all been nuked. Yep. Oh, well, on this one it didn't show any in reply to that. If your concern is over the exercising of bodily autonomy, then you should know that OnlyFans stands more in the way of it than assistance of it. Okay, but how are people supposed to pay for making content when the only places that allow non-sexual nudity, video-wise, at least video and live streaming, are sex sites? I personally don't like it, albeit it's impossible to prove. They use it as layered advertising unless they state it. Some Reddit are for people to share pics at the beach or top posted daily by OF women. To your first question, I don't care as long as they're clear about keeping sexual material separate from their news material. Your second question, no, keeping locked away doesn't promote nudism. It keeps it away from most people. That makes me think of the whole paywall article with or issue where actual news, like, you know, vetted journalistic news is almost always paywalled, so people get their information from Facebook memes because that's the only thing you can get for free. And it fucking infuriates me because here I am deliberately trying to stay informed, but I can't read any fucking factual articles because they all cost money to read. And then we wonder why people are ignorant as fuck. Ugh. Don't think it matters what platform is used as long as you present what it is. If more people were open to nudity, it would be better for the community. I enjoy some sexual content in the right place at the right time, as well as being a nudist. So, like, for instance, Gutsucker. Gutsucker goes to a lot of sexual streams, and he does his own sexual streams, but he's never been like, oh, love your tits, blah, blah, blah. Like, he fucking knows how to conduct himself in a respectful way in my streams and everything like that. It is possible, believe it or not, it is possible, even for people who do or watch sexual content, to know when it's appropriate or not. Like, anyway. I enjoy some sexual content in the right place. They both have a place, and if presented in that place and not forced on you, good for both. Either you want to see it or you don't. Some people do more hiding as nudists than they hide about their sex life. While I don't have a strong opinion one way or another about monetizing personal nudity, I did have this one thing to say about Naturist on OF, a fairly well-known content creator on Twitter and other social media, had her content on OF as well and was just shut down because she had photos of her enjoying her lifestyle outdoors. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about OF. They have this whole thing where you can't post pictures of yourself outdoors because you can't prove that the place you were in allowed nudity or something like that. It's just fucking insane. Apparently she was told that nudity in a possibly public setting was unacceptable and they took her down. A large part of her lifestyle is enjoying the great outdoors and the nude or skinny dipping, etc. Somehow OF deems this as unacceptable. Sexual content is just fine, something to consider for those who are thinking of going the OF route. Again, if we were allowed to post female nipples to fucking mainstream sites that aren't porn sites, it would do amazing for normalizing non-sexual nudity, but we're not. Chicken and the fucking egg. Anyway. Let's be real, even when the news is free, most people choose to be ignorant as fuck because ignorance is easy. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. You know what drives me fucking crazy? That vetted information almost always costs money. I still think that the government should support journalism and, or at the very least they should, I don't know, because it's like they're so afraid of ads pulling sponsors, sponsors pulling ads or whatever that, can't have an article about the vaccine because we might have sponsors pull. I don't understand it. I don't know. I definitely think that there should be, maybe they should classify their articles differently, like ones that are not about, whatever controversial thing are ad sponsored, and then if they're really worried, have a different category of articles that's paywalled only, so they don't have to worry about ads. I don't know. But obviously, like, they're doing all these huge fucking layoffs, so this whole have to pay for anything is not making them a lot of money either, so... But Tumblr said no, and that means it can't be anywhere. Puts on tinfoil hat, the government is easily part of the problem. I mean, I'm not saying that the government's a excellent source of... We should be funding things besides war and police unions. Crazy radical thought, right? And fucking Israel. Anyway, Onlyfans policy about outdoor nudity is absurd. Which creator was this? Because I swear I've heard the story before on multiple occasions. I know Francelli got hit for something like that. She goes by Linden Naturist, but Francelli got it too, and I think that's why she moved over to Patreon. Again, Patreon literally just fucking rolled out all these even more anti-sex worker and nudity guidelines. You can't have a site like OF without rules. It's up to the content creator to make use that they don't mess with the rules. Reddit has rules, for example, and frankly many of those rules are questionable or poorly enforced, but Reddit with no rules at all would not survive for long, in my opinion. What does that have to do with anything? Oh, I agree that they need rules. I just found that particular rule... Oh, they're talking about the outdoor thing is insane, yeah. Considering the stuff they do allow in there, hey, look at me, I can accommodate 3 dudes at the same time in very graphic manner with nothing wrong here. Hey, look at me, I'm standing in my yard by a tree. Stop this nonsense at all. Is strange at all. Is all. It is strange. I've personally been frustrated with Reddit as such. Again, I don't use Reddit because Reddit said that me posting a screenshot from the most generic email ever was doxing, and I said, fuck you. There has to be a better way than what Reddit offers. I get to go nude at nudist activities, closed festival, house parties. I have to pee. I'll be right back. Yeah, to stay objective. I know, and that is the hard part. But think of it this way. Fox News and shit is already free, so we might as well make, Washington Post and Texas Tribune and stuff like that free also, so that the only free thing isn't just Fox News and OAN and all, Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan and Steven Crowder and fucking Charlie Kirk, Laura Loomer, or whatever her name is. Andrew Tate. Ugh. All of the fucking right-wing conspiracy theorists, hate mongers, or whatever that are already free. Okay. I honestly wasn't expecting to live stream all day, but this is kind of fun, so. We're almost done with this, I think. Okay, I get to go nude at nudist activities, clubs, festivals, house parties. I do not see why anyone would pay to look at nudists online unless it's a fetish, sexual thing, etc. outside of the bulletin, and I just don't get it. They're only looking at it from this perspective of paying to see naked people. You can, like, especially with Patreon, it's to support someone. The people that I subscribe on Patreon to, a lot of them already post all their stuff for free on YouTube. I don't need to pay to see the content. I'm paying because I want to support them for what they do. These people, like, again, they're you know, oh, content creation is free and you can just do it in your sleep. Like, it's a fucking job, people. And especially if you're doing, like, fucking, you know, nudism or topless equality or whatever, the free sites are not an option. So you have to host your own stuff or post it to a porn site. There are not places where you can post non-sexual nudity for free that are not porn sites. This is so fucking... If you don't like people using porn sites to post non-sexual nudity, put together your money, put your money where your mouth is, found a platform where they can post it that's not a porn site. Even Nudes in the News on closeforyu.com doesn't have a lot of nude content containing nudity. There's a discussion of a nude comic, and his comedy shows on that channel weren't funny or entertaining. Then again, I live in recreational and social nudism. I don't think the people who avidly subscribe actually do it. The exceptions would be something like Nick and Lynn's, but they're storytelling, not showing off their bodies. They are saying to nudists and those who are curious, this can be you. Or like me, for instance. In my videos, I'm not just sitting there being fucking naked. I'm talking about shit. I'm talking about quite a lot of different topics. I'm interviewing people. I would love to cover events more. You know, I'm not just sitting there being naked. And that's a big difference with video and images too, I think. Because like a video of someone showering is not really promoting nudism. But if it's someone naked talking about something or whatever, like that I think is. Yeah, people are still going to treat it as sexual, but you can't not do something because people treat it as sexual or it's just going to stay sexual. People will sexualize fucking anything. That's the joy of it. Let's see. This makes no sense to me. You're assuming the only desire is to look and that these people don't offer content for those in the news lifestyle. Thank you. In the case of a Patreon account, you will see the views of one person. Granted, that person needs to deliver great content every week. Not easy at all, but it isn't going to be desirable for long if the only goal is to look at a nudist. In fact, I can't see Patreon accounts focused on looking at nudists lasting long at all because nobody would pay for it. They would, however, end up looking at the same guy week after week if there was content much like N. By the way, N and other nudist-oriented magazines are often consumed due to sexual interests as there are more perversions than one might imagine. Somebody mentioned Nick and Lynn's before, and the same thing applies here. People making it a point to search out their videos because they produce great content. Having a Patreon account, I don't think they need it, would be one way to support that content creation and probably make it easier to find their videos. For some overwhelming percentage of people out there, the videos are not sexual, but there'll always be a percentage out there that fixates on them in some sexually perverse way. By the way, N and other nudist, quoting the other person, by the way, N and other nudist-oriented magazines are often consumed due to sexual interest as there's some perversion more than might imagine. So was the Sears catalog in its day, and yes, there are still some mothers out there who will burn their adult children's copies of N in the bulletin, but that's a different matter. While N has broken away from its roots in the last 3 years, becoming more of a history journal instead of what's happening now and where. To me, anyway, it would be a stretch to view that as erotic. Ditto the bulletin. They're not saying it's erotic, though. They're saying that people are treating it as erotic. Reread both for the editorial. This makes me think like, oh, I read, what the fuck is it called? I read Playboy for the content. But apparently, like, they do have good articles. I don't know. I don't think I've ever touched a Playboy magazine before because I don't have any interest in it. Although I just read about how Trump was at the Live Golf tournament or whatever, and he held up a copy of the Playboy edition that had his face on it, you know, that he was on decades ago or whatever, but he like held it up at this tournament where there were like kids and stuff like that, and it's just so funny to me that, you know, the Trumpers are like, protect the children! Yeah, whatever. Fucking Trumpers. Hopefully N will focus more on current events and near future events in so much as the pandemic's been over for nearly 3 years. Debatable. People are still dying of COVID, by the way. Get your shot. Nick and Lynn's Naked Wanderings. I never interviewed them. I should interview them. I've just really been avoiding nudism as a topic. Hold on, did somebody just knock at the door? Hush. I don't know. I don't know why they're barking. There's no one there. Okay. Can confirm Playboy mags certainly or contain well-written articles. Our college library kept issues for article reference. Interesting. See, that's like such an interesting thing where it's like they've got the sexy pics to pay for the well-written articles because not enough people are paying for well-written articles. It's kind of like news sites or whatever when they have those fucking horrible spam where they'll like show someone's, you know, infected toe and stuff like that, where it's just like law. Like they're allowing that shit to pay for the journalism, which I'd rather not see that shit. Or the constant like, you know, you won't believe what this woman did in public, and she's like pulling her shirt off or what. I don't understand what those are for. I don't know. Anyway. Interesting. I wonder if there's a video in there. But yeah, I don't know. I've talked to them before, just like on comments or whatever. I haven't had like an extended conversation with them. I haven't really tried. I don't know. But it's like, I just don't really want to talk about nudity very much, so it's, I don't know what would be interesting about it. I don't want to get more cis male nudists following me. For a while, for a couple of years there, I was just relieved to have people following my content that I didn't have to keep explaining the difference between nudity and sex to. But like I said, I would just get so fucking frustrated that they would completely ignore the gender equality part of it and just jump to full body nudity, which is a separate issue. And it drove me nuts. Plus, just talking about being naked all the time is really boring. Clickbait. No, I understand that it's clickbait, but I'm saying, like, how do the people posting that spam, how do they get money from people clicking on those things? Is it purely just data tracking that they then sell to Amazon or something? Like, where does the money come from those, like, gross, you know, you won't believe what she showed in public or whatever type click things? I think of clickbait more like BuzzFeed type whatever, where it's like tries to get people to click it just to give them page views, because page views equal sponsorships and ads. Gemma wanted both the news and the articles. Definitely not nowadays, though. The people paying for magazine subscriptions, I don't know, maybe they are. Young people don't pay for magazines. Young perverts are not going to be paying for a magazine when they can just subscribe to someone on OnlyFans. I have all these Game Informer magazines because I just collect them for some reason, and there's no reason to, and I should throw them away, but I've been collecting them for like 5 to 10 years that it feels like a waste to just start throwing them away. Generate a new page with new ads. But where does the money come from? That's what I'm saying. The ads have to equal money somehow, otherwise what's the point of them making those ads? I don't know. I don't really care. It's just weird to me. Okay, I have always been able to experience still so looking at 10,000 pictures on a paywall nudist website wouldn't do more or less for my social nudist experience. Again, it's not about looking at the naked person. It's about supporting them creating content. People have been making money off nudism for a very long time. I'm not sure why anybody should be shocked that new avenues are pursued by people. The various avenues on the web are just new ways of making a buck, and frankly doing so with a bit more freedom than, let's say, magazines and books of the last century. I've been into the electronics automation world since leaving high school, and I've watched all sort of content created by people. I wouldn't consider automation in the same category as electronics, but okay. From this world, thus have thought about doing so myself. Should I be considered odd that I would want to share my knowledge in that way, which is basically something we have never had before? Now, I haven't done so yet, but one thing is obvious. I need to post such videos where people have an interest. Like it or not, people visiting OF and those with venues there are people interested in nudity. So the question is, can one promote nudism in an area where nudity is abundant for different reasons? So I'd have to answer that question with a yes, in that some people are capable of recognizing a well-conveyed message about positive nudity. The problem is what percentage of the population will get it. Then will this have a positive impact on the lifestyle versus not? This is far harder to determine because I see places like OF appealing on two types. One would be the horny and the other the disturbed individuals, predators, if you will. I can see the horny being able to distinguish between nudism and nudity for various different reasons. Predators simply will not get it. Okay, but you can't stop predators from finding your online presence. So, I don't know. It's just fucking terrible. The Game Informer's in a pinup shoot. Well, some of them are not in, like, the best quality, but I don't know, I have so many of them, but I'm hoarding Game Informers. I haven't even read most of them all the way through. Like, I'll read 1 or 2 articles, and then it's like, oh shit, it's, you know, it's the next edition already. Because I don't read in general. I read webcomics and I read, like, newsletters. News articles. When I can, when they're not paywalled. I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite here, but being anti-porn, I support this. I have known I wanted to live a nudist lifestyle since I was young, so when I find true nudist content like the nudist on OF you're referring to, I am delighted not to find nudity that is not porn. Being anti-porn, well, that's... You can be anti-sex trafficking without being anti-porn. I just want places that are towing the line right before getting to porn to just make a section of the site that's porn, okay? Like we were saying with Twitch, make a subsection that is clearly labeled as porn and let people use the same accounts. They just have to do an age verification to get to that side of the site. But, you know, don't have to require them to go to a completely different site, just a section of the Twitch site. I don't know. When I put the kids to work, you could take the covers and then make a magazine cover wall with some poster board to use a background. I thought about it, but it's like, which pages do I want to use? And also, like, I still feel bad cutting up cutting them up. I don't know. I might just donate them to the library or something, but I have to go through and, like, scrub out my address and all of them and everything. Let's see. I do not have a problem with someone having a Patreon to earn money to provide content. It comes down to the context, though. If they post behind a paywall, that content is not advocacy. It is an occupation. They may be trying to normalize non-sexual nudity with their content. But again, like with Hector and his Vimeo videos, before he put them behind a paywall, Vimeo was saying he was using more than 99% bandwidth in the whole website. Websites where you can just post non-sexual nudity for free that aren't porn sites don't exist. They may be trying to normalize non-sexual nudity with their content. Does not mean everyone in their audience is perceived that way. If they can make a living doing it, good for them. I just would not call the content behind a paywall advocacy, even if it's well-intended to normalize nudity. I know nothing of the two individuals used as an example. Two things can exist at the same time. Good for them for making some money. It's a bit like nudes a-poppin'. Okay. Ugh. If it's everywhere, it isn't interesting anymore. If you remove the mystique, people will stop being interested in how many poems do you see about a woman's collarbone or farts now versus the 1860s. And that's what I say to people, too, when they're like, oh, men are just hardwired to be attracted to women's nipples and will always be, like, consumed by lust if they see female nipples. It's like, first of all, plenty of cultures around the world where female nipples are frequently seen outside of sexual situations and somehow they're not constantly being essayed. And two, look at all the other body parts that have been demystified, be destigmatized. Hair, backs of necks, legs, you know, the shape of the butt or whatever. Like, plenty of cultures that still sexualize that our culture, you know, you might be like, oh, she's hot, but she's not going to get banned for having her back of her neck visible. Like, people are stupid. Nudes a pop person has no idea what they're talking about. I don't even know what nudes a poppin' is. I'm assuming it's like a Girls Gone Wild kind of thing. Ugh. People just tend to think that their current opinion or society's current opinion is the only opinion that has ever existed and can only ever exist. What? No, what are you throwing up on? It's the second time she's thrown up today. I don't know what she ate. Okay, buddy? Yeah, I don't know. She doesn't throw up very often, so. Our old cat that finally passed would throw up all the time. She'd throw up, she'd pee, she'd poop everywhere. It was very gross. I am not particularly sad that she's dead. She lived 20 years, okay? We had that other cat for a long time. Ugh. It's a singers convention? Oh, swingers convention. Is that what you meant? News. I've literally never heard of that. That's funny. I don't know why it just makes you think of I don't know, singing thing. Not even before you said singing. Let's see. It depends on the nature of their content as well as their activities and how they frame what any money is going towards. Let me first say that I object to anyone calling himself a nudist asking people to pay money to see them naked. To me, that's what separates simple nudity and nudism for pornography. Now, I do know there are legitimate artists and nudists who utilize OF to reach their audience. And this is also not even mentioning, again, stuff like artistic nude photography, where you would pay, just like you would pay for a landscape photo or whatever to own it. You know, you can charge money for owning a piece of art even if it includes female or any nudity in it. Anyway. And while I do know there's legitimate artists and nudists who utilize OF to reach their audience, the COVID pandemic is how it gained popularity for this use. The majority of social media accounts that have OF accounts are basically amateur and professional sex workers just looking to make money, selling access to their nude pictures. But question, is it that most of them are? I mean, I would argue that a lot are. Or is it that the ones who are not doing sexual content like me don't get trending, don't get shared, you know, don't have people actively showing my stuff to other people, so the only content that people do find when they search for nudism or whatever is sexual stuff. Because, like, I know for me personally, you know, it's really hard for people to find my stuff. You make such good points. I do not understand why people are incapable of understanding. Hi, also, by the way. I don't know. I get very frustrated because so much of what I say I feel like is pretty obvious, and yet it's hard to find people who feel the same way I do. I really appreciate those of you who do. And like I've said before, a lot of people, especially with like topless inequality, a lot of people, when I bring it up to them, they're like, yeah, you're right, it doesn't make sense. But it's nothing that they've ever thought to question before I brought the topic up to them. Or they're like, oh, well, women can't have the same rights because they'll get sexually assaulted more. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter what you're dressing. If a guy wants to sexually assault you, he's going to do it. Anyway. I'm saying the word. I'm going to get banned. Can't talk again. Because, you know, talking about sexual assault is the same as actually doing it, right? It's fucking... algorithm-based censorship is working out great. Anyway. Sexual should not be linked to nudity or topless quality. Yeah. Well, and that's my fucking... What I'm so enraged about is that the only places I can post female nipples are places that allow full-on porn. There are no fucking websites that I can post non-sexually topless on that don't allow full nudity, and basically everywhere that allows full nudity allows porn. So if I could just post exactly like anyone who looks male can to YouTube, then it'd be great, because then I could just use YouTube and still, you know, have a Patreon and everything like that. But all these platforms are just getting more and more and more anti-women, anti-sex worker, and therefore anti-topless equality activist, because I'm categorized as a sex worker even though I'm not. That's the fun part of live streams, is like I'll go on a whole rant and then a new person comes on and it's like, oh, I gotta do the rant again. Oh boy. That thing I don't think is good. Like for nudists, sell access to their these basic people are just, they keep getting stuck in this mentality of charging money to see their naked bodies. No, it's an option to support people who do work that you appreciate. Again, the people, for instance, all the people that I subscribe to the Patreon for, like video essayists and stuff like that, I can already see their content for free on YouTube or whatever. I subscribe to them because I support what they do. I like the content that they make and I want to help them make it more of it. It's not about buying a product. Like these people do not have a realistic view on what content creation is. And then it's like people complain about the Mr. Beastification where it's all like sponsor friendly and everything like that. But for something to be self-sustaining and not be focused on gaming the algorithm, it's dependent on people to go out of their way to sign up for Patreon or something, and most people won't. So if you want to be not even successful, but just able to pay your bills content creator, you have to either be like independently wealthy or go viral and be able to capitalize on the algorithm. And if you're someone like me, where you're constantly getting shadow banned and banned, it doesn't even matter if I do talk about an algorithmically hot topic, I'll still get shadow banned. So my stuff won't show up in search results. Anyway, all right. As for professional nudist influencers, I question whether they're promoting news or just getting people paid for their lifestyles of going on exotic vacations. Okay, this guy's very bitter. Like, it's like, oh, how dare they take any of the money to take photos and write about their experiences. Like, okay, so you'd rather them just get all the money from commercial sponsors who are gonna, you know, unethical commercial sponsors who, like, BetterHelp and fucking, what's it called? Fresh, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the most famous meal, you know, delivery thing. Oh my god, I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, all of those are super corrupt and unethical and everything like that. And it's, if normal people aren't paying to support them, then they're going to be shilling unethical stuff and it's going to change their content. Shit costs money. This is capitalism, baby. Just like people can't really just sit at home and paint art for fun unless they're independently wealthy. They can't just sit at home and make videos for free for fun. Not good ones, because you got to work a 9 to 5 or, yeah, anyway. I recognize there's some work involved. Some work. Someone's not a content creator. Oh my god. I want to sign in just to downvote this guy, but I don't care that much. Freely posting their new... At least he only has the generic one upvote. To promote why influencers believe they deserve to be paid to do the same. Overall, with many everyday real nudists promoting nudism by freely posting their non-sexual nudist activities to a subreddit like this where everyone's already a nudist, where are they posting their non-sexual nudist activity, buddy? Certainly not the mainstream sites. So are you offended when a comedian insists that you pay to see a show, or are you saying it's impossible for a nudist to create content worth paying for? Why did that guy get a downvote? Nudism is simply about doing things that everyone normally does if they were wearing clothes only naked, where it's legally... I'm not going to read that. Okay, so we got it. We got to the end. It feels like the ones at the top were more realistic and accepting of nudists having OnlyFans or whatever like that, and then as you scroll down, it got a lot more unrealistic and judgy, which, I mean, doesn't Reddit show, like, things that have more votes at the top anyway? So, again, that's a good sign. I don't know. Anyway, it's been, well, weeks since you looked at me. So that was a 2-hour live stream? 2.5-hour live stream, unplanned, so, yeah. My voice is kind of hurt. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, I won't be able to stream tomorrow. Take my dad to the doctor, but I should be able to stream on Twitch on Friday. So Fridays 12 to I say 2. I usually run later, but 12 to 2 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/SeriGotGame, SeriGotGame, which is my gamer name that I don't really get to do much with because I don't have time. Yeah, next Tuesday. Can I do it next Tuesday? I keep having things get scheduled. It's annoying. Yeah, so next Tuesday, the 16th or whatever it was, I'll be on Joystick again, probably editing video or something like that. So, and if you haven't stayed up with my content and you're like, oh my god, she still makes videos on YouTube. Yes, I've been making videos the whole fucking time, but I'm shadow banned, so my stuff doesn't show up. So I encourage you to go to thomastomas.org/contact, look for the various links to my social media, in order of the ones I actually check the most, and follow me and comment and everything like that so I can, like, be in contact with you, because I've been making videos this whole fucking time It's just that I get shadow banned when I'm not banned outright, and my stuff doesn't show up in search results, and it doesn't even show up in the feeds of people who are already subscribed usually. So click that bell notification icon, bleh, and you know, teach the algorithm to maybe show my content to you more often by actually like liking and commenting and stuff. Like I feel gross saying that, but that's how you tell the algorithm, hey, I actually want to see this person's content. Yeah, well, I don't usually stream to YouTube. Like I said, I usually stream Tuesdays. I stream to Joystick, and then Fridays I stream to Twitch, and then I try to put the recording of the live streams up on my Trom, but I have to like re-encode it and everything to get it within the size limit, and it takes a while. So that, yeah, best way is to actually come to the stream, and you can join our Discord. If you like, you've left some pretty decent comments over the years, so I feel like you would not be an asshole. So you should go to topistopics.org/chat, and you can find a link to our Discord there. And all right, cool. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody. Click end, click end, click end.